everyone, well we're here, we're back, and today we have yet another anti-MLM video, and for this video we will be talking about Plexus. A lot of the time when I highlight specific MLMs, I will go to their website and just see if they have any new products or just see what new things they might be featuring and see if that's at all relevant to add to the video. And since we are in Black Friday season, of course, a Black Friday special appeared at the top of the Plexus website. And so let's take a gander at it together. Alright, so here we are on the Plexus website. It says Black Friday arrives early with seasonal specials, which Black Friday's already happened by the time I am filming this, so it's definitely not arrived early. So we'll shop now. Search Black Friday. And that's it. They have 4 items a part of their Black Friday specials, their Black Friday deals, and the cheapest one, if you are not a VIP customer, is $85. They have 4 items, cheapest one being $85. That's, you know, when you have your own business, you can put the entire store on a Black Friday sale. You could also, you know, of course, just put certain items up for, you know, a discount for Black Friday specifically, or Cyber Monday, or Small Business Saturday. Any of that can apply because it is your own business. They are your own products. You have a say over the price versus reps that are in Plexus. They don't get a say of what is a part of this Black Friday section. And this is a very lackluster Black Friday section. And so let me go back to the front. And so I wanted to look up holiday shopping because that, you know, maybe it's kind of the same thing as Black Friday, but a little bit different. So let's go to holiday shopping. And again, they have 3 items, the cheapest one being $67. I don't know why they did that, but it's a Luxe Hydration hand cream set. So it's 3 hand creams for $67. So that is in the holiday section. So it looks like overall in the Black Friday / holiday section of their website, they have 7 items that are on sale, with the cheapest one being $67. So I have a theory on why there are such limited items a part of the Black Friday / holiday section of the website, and that is because pretty much the majority of the customers in any MLM really, but in Plexus, are the reps. The reps are buying the products every single day at whatever price point Plexus sets it at. So why would Plexus want to give a higher discount or give more of a discount to people who are willing to buy it at the higher price point? So they'll just throw something up in the Black Friday section to maybe inspire reps to tell customers, like, look at our Black Friday section, isn't this exciting? Look at these bundles that you can get at a relative discount. Doesn't that make you excited? Because they don't really care too much about selling to outside customers when the reps are all too willing to buy whatever Plexus puts out there for whatever price Plexus puts it at. And it wouldn't be a reaction video without a video to react to. So the video we will be watching is what to say when someone asks, "What's Plexus?" So we're going to learn what you say to someone when you tell them that you work for a company, or confuse them more and say you own a company called Plexus. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really, really like it, please subscribe. And if you really, really, really like it, hit that notification bell so you never miss when I post a new video. And also make sure to check out my description where I have a bunch of fun links. And with all of that said, let's get started.
Mute everybody. So if you guys can, there we go. Mute. Yeah, just hit OK for record. Okay, welcome. Elevate team call. I was thinking, I wonder if anybody even knows why we named it Elevate. Like, what is that? Like, what is that about? Where did that come from? And really, our vision behind it, Megan and Phil and me and Rodney and Cheryl and all the people that pour into our team, was really to just elevate your life in general. Not
why did we call it Elevate? It's just because we want to elevate. I mean, it's very obvious when they use some sort of a descriptor word in their team call, or what they usually call their team. They will call it team something or something team. So calling it Team Elevate or Elevated Team, it goes hand in hand with the MLM world. They're like, we're just here to elevate each other and push each other to the newest, grandest heights.
Not just your Plexus business, not just your personal life, but to elevate both, to kind of come in and realize that the stuff that we're teaching actually improves you as a spouse. It improves you as a mom. It improves you as a sister or a brother or a friend. It improves your entire life and literally elevates you to a whole new level. And so that's the mission, that's the vision behind every call we have. So when you hop on here, I want you hopping on with expectation, because here's what I do know. When I would show up to listen to a call, it had nothing to do with the speaker and everything to do with me. Y'all know what I'm saying? It had nothing to do with the speaker and everything to do with me, because
as always, let's put all of the emphasis, blame, whatever we can on the individual watching, the downlines, so that if they don't get something out of the call, that's their fault. That's on them for not getting something out of the call because they went in with an expectation on the presenter and not on themselves.
We can hear the same things over and over and over again. And sometimes we walk away and we feel like, oh man, I just feel like that's, going to be really hard to do, or I feel embarrassed, or I feel all these things. And sometimes we walk away literally feeling like we're on fire and nothing can stop us. It's not because a speaker was better than somebody else. I promise you. It's because we're showing up with a mindset of being willing to elevate ourselves.
No, I definitely would say it is because a speaker is better at public speaking than somebody else. That is true. It is how they get the crowd worked up. It is how they present. Obviously, if you've ever taken a speech class, this is maybe not the best example, but it's an example. Or I guess TED Talks, like sometimes you could just tell somebody that like doesn't want to be up there versus somebody who genuinely enjoys public speaking. Like you can tell a difference and you can feel the energy off of that person. So yeah, it is kind of based off of the speaker. Now, I'm not saying the speaker can't, just because they don't like public speaking that they can't, have good information to share, but it depends on how they go about it. And these poor people have to sit through so many team calls, so many presentations all the time, and hear the same information told over and over and over again to them. They're gonna get burnt out about it.
So I want tonight, we got a couple things we're going to talk about, but tonight I'm going to go into my wheelhouse of what I really love to share is on mindset. And I want to challenge you guys to fall in love with who you are. And I want you to challenge you to fall in love with your Plexus business and where you want to be. Where do you want to be this time next year? I love that question. Cheryl had shared that with us from Daniel G. I think that's his name. She loves him. I can't remember his name now, all of a sudden. And it's such a great question. Where do you want to be in a year? I want you to drop it in the comments. I want you to come here participating. I want you to be on here when we're asking questions and just be like, I'm here for it. I want to elevate myself. I'm tired of hitting roadblocks and just falling off. I want to, or starting and stopping, right? Like even with the products, maybe you're like, I just want to stop starting and stopping. Anybody in that boat where you're like, I just want to have a different life. I want to have a different experience. I want to have more for my family. If that's you, I want you to raise your hand. I want you to do that, not for everyone else, but for you personally, to be like, I'm making a statement. I'm making a declaration that I want to elevate myself. Make that decision here, today, tonight, that you deserve more, you deserve better, and you are fully capable of doing so. So as you're writing these things down, where I want to be in a year, I want you to really quickly say to yourself, I want you to write down on a piece of paper. I want you to say it out loud to somebody. I want you to put it in the comments. I want you to, what is the first trigger that comes up? What is the first negative thought when you write down, I want to be emerald? I want to inspire hundreds of other people through Plexus. I want to be senior Ruby. I want to be Ruby. I want a better mindset. I want to believe in myself and be on my way to legacy of wealth. What is the first stat that comes up for you guys?
The fact that you have to recruit in order to reach any rank that you just listed, and it's not just about selling the product and being good at selling the product as a salesperson, where Plexus would maybe hire you at either an hourly or salary rate. That would be really nice. That's a negative that I have about Plexus.
Somebody unmute and just tell me one of the things that's coming up for you.
I want to be Ruby, but I keep losing people.
Okay.
That's not on you. I'm sure that's frustrating and very you feel like it's on you because they're gonna tell you that it is, but that's not your fault. You have no control over if people stay or not. And that should be, if that's a frustrating thing and people keep coming and going, get out of this. It's always going to be like that. It's always going to be up and down like that. You are dependent on outside people to stay, and you don't have control over that. Versus, if you were in pretty much every other job, it's based off of you. It's based off of your work ethic and what you're doing. And of course, there are elements to sales and business where you need customers to buy the product and you're dependent on them for money, but it's a different sort of thing.
So what is the trigger though of the thought of I'm going to do this? What is the first thought that you have?
That something's going to get in the way.
That what's the something?
Circumstances.
Okay. I appreciate your bravery because I know some people are scared of me, I've heard. Are you scared?
I could see it. I mean, you are, why is this? What is this? What do you feel about that? And sometimes that sort of directness does work for people, but I think a lot of times it doesn't work for people.
Don't be scared of me. I'm really nice. But
when you have to say that you're nice, I don't know. When you're like, I heard that people are scared of me. Ha 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 ha. You got a little too much joy out of that.
Here's the thing. Okay. So I'm going to coach that question right now. And I want you guys to hear this because I think this is so important. I want you to hear how our amazingly, beautifully, wonderfully, perfectly created brains are. That is called self-sabotage, right? So our brain, so she says to herself, I want to be XYZ. I want to be a senior Ruby and I want to have a bunch of people on my team and I want to be making an impact. And the first thought that she has is there'll be circumstances.
No, the first thought she had is that people keep leaving the team. And that's out of her control. That's a completely reasonable thought to have.
They get in the way. Can anybody else see how that is our brain literally just protecting us, throwing something out there that doesn't even really make sense, right? It's kind of like just any circumstance could happen. And that comes from thoughts, that comes from old programming, that comes from really making that decision of, I want to step out and I want to be somebody different. Listen, we cling to our identities that we've decided who we are, right? We cling.
That's an interesting way to word it, is that she's saying we cling to the identities of who we think we are. You're right, because you need them to be different people when they join this MLM. They need to be people who have no issue talking to strangers at the grocery store trying to recruit them. They have no issue talking to 100 people a day and getting ghosted by 99% of them. That's not I mean, I guess it depends, but for most people, majority of people, that's not the kind of person they want to be. But you need them to change entirely. And we see that a lot in MLMs. They change who they are and they just kind of go into autopilot mode and go into Hunbot mode and just go, 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 go and ignore all the red flags around them and just try and recruit as many people as possible. And it doesn't matter if people are leaving, just keep focusing on the new recruits. It's just an exhausting mindset to have.
cling to who that is. We cling to the lifestyle we have. We cling to the amount of money that we think we deserve. We cling to these things so that when we're challenging it, our brain takes it negative. Even though we're challenging in a positive way, our brain's like, hold up. What happens if you put yourself out there and you lose everybody? What happens if you put yourself out there and you fail? What happens if, right? And it starts throwing you all these what happens if negative. So I want you guys right here, right now, I'm teaching you something I paid $7,000 to learn. It's called a fear story. Run your fear story through. What happens? I lose people. Okay. What happens after that? Lisa?
You derank, you don't have any money. Those are not fearful things. Those are reality things. And you paid $7,000 for this whole, like, you know, it's the whole thing of like the what if mentality. Like, you know, okay, so what? Oh, well, you know, nothing bad will happen to you. You're still alive. You're still breathing, like that sort of thing. And in certain circumstances, you know, putting yourself out there, pushing past your fears and your anxiety are good things. But I think certain things that make you take a step back and think when it comes to the MLM world is your brain being like, I'm not making any money. This is not really working. I need to have so many people underneath me in order to make the kind of money that I need to live off of. Is this really worth my time and energy? And can I do it? Because at the end of the day, this is a sales job. Some people are very good at sales. A lot of people are not good at sales. So if you are not good at selling, this is not the job for you.
If everything falls apart and you lose everything, what happens after that?
I know I got to keep going and keep trying and call the next person.
Okay, but what really happens? Worst case scenario.
Oh, I quit.
And nothing changes.
Except my pocketbook.
Yeah, exactly, right?
So she quits and nothing changes except for her pocketbook. That's the only thing that would change. And I think that would be in a positive way because she wouldn't have to consistently keep buying Plexus products every single month. So she actually would have more money getting out of this than she would being in it.
So, but nothing happens to us. Do you hear that answer? Is there's no physical harm. This isn't life and death, but I'm telling you, our brains are so amazing that I would call it bear in the woods, right? That bear in the woods feeling. It feels like, I remember Cheryl and I talked about this a lot because we both were always like, we don't want to message. We don't want to put ourselves out there and be like, hey, girl, you ever heard Plexus? Because there's this feeling of like, there's a bear in the woods that's going to come eat me. Like, I literally remember when I had Plexus on my car and I went to my homeschool co-op for the first time, I literally cried. I was like, this is it. I'm going to be stoned to death. People are going to think I'm crazy. Like, I literally cried like a little baby. Was like, oh, they're not going to like me anymore. Right? There are fears that we have, and it literally feels life or death. But I want you here tonight, right now, to play out your worst case scenarios with your ranks, with your goals, and what you're going to find 100% of the time is that it's not a big deal, that what you're so afraid of, right? They're not going to like me anymore. What would you say to your children if they came in and they're like, if I do something that betters me, betters my future, and is going to move my life forward and my friends make fun of me, what would you tell them? Would you tell them?
This is such extreme cases. Like when you have to hold people in the MLM based off it. Extreme hypothetical cases, that's what you have to do in order to get people to stay. It's like, well, what will happen if you don't stay in? You're still alive, so like, why would you quit? That's ridiculous.
You know what? They're right. Quit your dreams. Don't believe in yourself. You know, pack up your suitcase and come on home. This ain't going to work for you. No, you'd be like, hey, sis, those are not your friends. Can I get an amen for that? Those are not your friends.
The people in the MLM majority of them are not your friends. If they're in and trying to keep you to stay in because they are your upline, they just want you to stay in because they are profiting off of you, not because they truly want you to stay because they love you so much.
Anybody who would ever dare hold you back are not your friends. That's why they tell us all the time, the sum of who you are is the average of the 5 people that you're around the most. That's who you are. Why? Because we're so easily influenced. So when back in the day, I was hanging out with people who maybe didn't want to do bigger things. They were fine being a one-income family. They were fine with struggling. They were fine with those options. I was not fine with those options. I knew I could do more. I knew I was capable of more. And here's the thing. My vision has grown and grown the braver and more confident I get. The more I work through those fear stories of really understanding that those circumstances, in quotation marks, that may or most likely won't happen are there to protect me, but they're there to slow me down and stop me. And so when you can remove those fears and you can remove those doubts of yourself and really push yourself to that next level of thinking. And that's what I really want you guys to hear tonight. And it's really a large concept that has taken me personally. Now, everybody on here is very bright. So you guys will probably be like, oh, I get it, and move on. And I'll be like, well, it took me years to get this. Or it would really piss me off when people would say it. I'll just be honest, right? They're like, you've got to become a diamond. I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I'm not going to become a diamond. Like, what does that mean? Like, just give me a checklist and tell me what to do. Because I've been programmed to go to school, to do my homework, to go get a job. But I sucked at 9-to-5 jobs. I quit every single one I ever had. Every time my parents went out of town, I quit my job. Why do you keep quitting your job? I'm like, I think I'm allergic. Like, I think I have a problem. I don't know. I'm not meant to work these kind of in these conditions. They're like the real world. I'm like, that's correct. So if you have a child who's like that, don't be hating on them. They're probably just very innovative and inspired to do bigger things. But
and maybe that is the case. 9-to-5s are not for everybody, but that doesn't mean that your next logical answer is to join an MLM. I absolutely see why she is higher up in the MLM. She's personable, she's extroverted. I get it. People like this are the ones at the top. But they're trying to convince the shyer, more meek people that they too can do this if you just completely change your personality and act like her.
I had to become someone who thought differently. I had to become somebody who thought higher thoughts. What does that mean? It means being self-aware of yourself. It means that when you're afraid to post, you post anyway. It means thinking, okay, I'm a little concerned to reach out to so-and-so, or right now I know I feel rejected, but what the higher truth is telling me is that it's just not their time yet. You got to think like a man. You got to take the emotion out of it, is basically what I'm telling you, right? And it's the truth. It's like really pulling.
Really? It's just interesting how they say this sort of stuff. Like, this is a female-dominated industry. And you're going to turn to everyone and say, you need to be like a man. You need to not be so emotional about stuff. It's just such a rude thing to say. That's all I'm going to say about it.
Yourself in and be like, worst case scenario. I remember Megan, I love that she's on here right now, but I remember Megan had called me. I hope you don't mind me sharing this story. And she's very upset. This woman was kind of mean. She was mean to Megan. I was about to go down to Florida and do some fighting, even though I'm not a street fighter, but I kind of felt like I was about to be. And she just tore Megan up. And Megan was just really upset. Phil called me. Both of us were talking to her. We're like, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Megan had a choice in that moment. She had a choice in that season of time to be like, this woman matters to me. What she thinks of me matters to me. Those things are real, right? But we ran down the fear story. What's the worst thing that could happen? Do you think that Megan, for any split second, regrets being able to pay off her $100,000 in student loan debt, have, you know, a husband who can stay home and work his job at home and have a farm and live next door to her parents and live in a beautiful sunset farm in Tennessee. Do you think that she ever thinks, oh,
Is that because of Plexus, or is that because her husband's family owns a farm and owns land? Did they buy the farm because of Plexus? These are things I need to know.
oh man, I just really wonder what Sister Linda is doing right now.
It's like they do that a lot in MLMs. It's like if they're married and their husband is pretty well off, they will kind of use that to their benefit and be like, well, thanks to Plexus, I can get all these things and I can be at home with my babies and whatnot. And it's like, well, you were already home with your children prior because you're lucky and you don't have to work. You don't have to be outside the home. You can work, be a stay-at-home mom. But they will use that to convince others, like, oh, don't you want to be just like me? It's like, yeah, it's helpful when you have a spouse who is providing all of the other stuff like medical care, dental care, all of that for you, so you can just focus entirely on the MLM and not have to focus on, other important things. So that's something they also don't talk about, like, ever. If they can 100% give everything to the MLM and put everything on the MLM, they always will.
And I really wish that Sister Linda, I quit.
Unless it's a negative thing. Unless it's like, well, I'm not making any money. I have already exhausted on my friends list. Like, these products are too expensive. No, that's not the MLM's fault. That's your fault.
For Sister Linda. No, she never thinks that, right? But so often we give these people this power that has nothing to do with us. Linda was never mad at Megan. That's not even her name. I don't even remember her name, Karen. But it was never about Megan. It is never about you, right? The rejections, all those things. It's never about you. So learning to build your confidence and fall in love with who you are and just go out there and go for it takes self-awareness. And that's what we mean when it's like, become a diamond, become this person. You're thinking like a diamond. All that means is I'm willing to take the hard punches on the chin and know it's not about me. I'm willing to get back up when I fall down. I'm willing to go through a fear story and work through it and be like, okay, how can I see it? How can I see this differently? What a great question that I have learned. I would write down everywhere all over my house. What am I focusing on? Why am I feeling like this? Getting curious around the thoughts that you're having around building your business, right? So we're 7 days into February. And it's easy and tempting to think, or March, wrong month. It's easy and tempting to be like, well, so-and-so's on fire and they've already earned the iPad, or they're halfway. And now it's easy to be excited on March 1st. It gets more and more daunting as the month goes on. Why is that?
Because you realize how difficult it is to achieve these certain levels, hit these certain sales quotas. You're like, because they tell you each and every month at the start of each month to get everybody pumped up, everybody excited, everything is like, it's a new month, this is the month, this is your month, let's go, 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 go. And you do go, 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 and you get nothing in return because it's a really hard sell. Selling somebody an MLM pitch or an MLM product is really difficult to do.
Because our thoughts change. All of a sudden, it's like, we have no time. I have no time. I'm running out of time. I've got a message. We start to panic because we don't have time. And so I want you guys to be aware of those thoughts that are popping up for you. If you changed your thoughts, how could you see things differently tonight? How could you look at your objections that you wrote down and see them differently? It will feel different in your body. It will feel different to your heart. It will feel different to your mind, and you will stay motivated longer. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready. My turn. All right. Hey, everybody. I'm going to be short and sweet tonight. I got something I want to talk to you guys about. It's piggybacks right on what I said. It's all
He
about.
drew posters.
I didn't draw a poster.
Well,
I'm going to assume that this man is her husband. That's going to be my assumption.
That's a poster. Okay, sorry.
You're taking my time.
I know.
So I want you guys to just close your eyes. All right, everybody close your eyes. All right, go all the way back to 6th grade. I don't know if you remember 6th grade, but you have this class. It's called physical science. My teacher was Mr. Threet. He was also my football coach. He taught us about energy, that an object either has what's called kinetic energy or potential energy. Kinetic energy is when an object is moving. Potential energy is when an object is at rest. And he taught me, because I didn't quite get this, he taught me, he said, Rodney, he said, if I put a rock at the top of a ramp, he said, the rock rolling down the hill has pretty much the same energy as the rock sitting at the top of the ramp. But one's called kinetic and one's called potential. The rock sitting at the top of the ramp has just as much energy as the one rolling down the ramp. He said, but it takes more work on the rock to get it from potential energy to kinetic than it takes to get that rock rolling down the hill. It takes very little work to keep it rolling. So once you get into motion, it takes little work to keep going. It's getting started. So what I'm going to talk about is that motivating factor. What gets us moving? What moves us from potential to kinetic? You know,
Maybe I'm thinking too much about this, but rocks are inanimate objects. You need something to physically push that rock. The rock is not going to become sentient and roll itself down the hill. The rock needs something to come along, an animal, wind, earthquake, person, something to get it to move. Which he's probably going to go into that thing that needs to move the object that isn't moving. Like, what is your outside motivator to get you to move? People in MLMs don't have a lack of desire, want, passion, drive. They are not lacking any of those things. They go into this wanting it to work, craving for it to work, being told it does work. But what's stopping them is the crushing force of the upline of the pyramid being held either physically in front of them, like stopping them, crushing them from above, and everybody on top saying, just keep going, just keep doing it, you got this, while they are trying, while they are sending messages, while they are going out there and having these conversations. And even when they do get people to join, they may not have those same people next month because those people leave and then they are back at square one. They may have climbed the ladder a little bit and now they fell off again. Not by really any sort of fault of their own. It's just the fault of the system. So you can have all the drive, motivation, all of it, but if the system is holding you back, it's really hard to hold on to that motivation and that desire for the outcome. When you keep being let down time and time and time again by outside things that are out of your control, it's really hard to want to keep going.
have you ever tried to steer a parked car? Pretty hard. When you get that baby up to about 80 miles an hour, it'll go where it wants to go because it's in motion. So how do we get in motion? So what we talked about is one of the biggest things in the business that we're in is fear. Fear of things going bad, things getting off the rails, people saying no, people saying negative things about you. You know, fear that it might not work, fear that it might work for others and not work for us. All kinds of fear. And so fear is a demotivator, right? And so how do we get that motivation? How do we get motivated? And you all hear people about, you need to be a self-starter. You need to be, you know, all these things. And whether you're, this applies to anything in life, whether like right now, I'm doing this thing called 75 hard. And I'm telling you, it's taken a lot of motivation to keep it going. It's 2 workouts a day. It's getting up when I don't want to. It's watching what I eat. It's doing all these things. The results have been amazing, but it's taken a lot of motivation to stay on it. So motivation, how do we get there? How do we figure out our motivation? It's different for everybody. It's different for me than it is. It's different for Cheryl than it is Megan. It's different for everybody across the board. Well, when you think about motivation, This is my poster. Can everybody read this?
You can open your eyes.
Yeah, you can open your eyes. Sorry. I assumed everybody had. I was looking at everybody. All right. Needs times belief equals motivation. And this is what I think about anytime in life there's something that I don't want to do, whether it's call a construction contractor. I do a little construction on the side, call a trade, whether it's get on a treadmill or whether it's go to about the 15th million basketball game on a Saturday. I run this through my head constantly. What is my need? Why am I doing this? You got to figure that out. Is it because you want the respect of your peers? Is it because you want to make $200 extra a month? Is it because you want to buy a lake house? Is it because you want to retire your husband? Clear, defined needs. You can call them wants too, but needs has a more urgency about it. Throughout my life, I've worked for different goals. Someday, maybe give me a chance. I can give you guys a little breakdown of my background and where I come from and things like that.
Maybe my wife will give me a chance to give my backstory so that one day I can tell you who I am, because as of right now, you have no idea who I am. And he's right. I don't know who this man is. I don't know if this is her brother. I don't know if this is her husband. I don't know if this is some random guy she recruited into Plexus. I don't know who he is.
But keeping an active vision in front of you of what you want, what your needs are, go to your diamond and have them print off a pay stub and tape that thing to your refrigerator. Write your goal on your bathroom mirror. So every morning when you brush your teeth, you have to look through your goal, that thing that you want more than anything, and define your need.
I mean, he's kind of just describing a vision board in a way, and that's also a very popular thing in the MLM world, is creating a vision board and looking at that every day and being like, look at that every day and go into every day wanting that to be a reality. The MLM, statistically, cannot make that happen. In Plexus alone, unfortunately, the most recent income disclosure statement they have is 2020, but according to their 2020 income disclosure statement, the average Plexus rep made $544 in a year. That's less than $50 a month. And let's say it's gone up a little bit, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt and say that maybe it's gone up to $800 in a year. That's still nothing to live off of. That's still not the $200 extra a month that somebody might need. That's not a lake house. The only thing that he said is maybe the respect of your peers, and that would just be from staying in the business. The uplines would be proud of you for that.
But the belief that no matter what, I'm here. My flag has been planted. You take that belief every day, you multiply it by your needs, the thing that you want more than anything, and that's where your motivation comes from. That's what will get you up at 4:30 in the morning and get on a stinking treadmill and walk, or whatever it is. It'll make you message that person you're afraid of, that sweaty palm person. But having clear, defined needs, meeting a clear, firm belief is where your motivation comes from. And it'll get you through anything in life, no matter what it is, whether it be a Plexus thing, a marriage thing, a job thing. Clear, defined needs, your wants, needs, and desires multiplied by your belief will give you motivation. That's all I got.
So good. So good. And we'll wrap up with this, is that is what makes people keep going. That is becoming a diamond. That is becoming ruby. That is becoming emerald. That is becoming who you want to be. Is believing so much that's like, I'm willing to put this out here, because whether I go emerald in a year or whether it takes me 2 years, I'm going emerald. So it's going to happen. So I'm not going to fail. I know this to be true. So true, deep in my bones somewhere. I know.
And then let's say you do achieve the rank of emerald or ruby or diamond, and then the next month you derank. Wouldn't that be a really, like, demotivator? Now, of course, the uplines would say, like, because you did it once, you can do it again. It's because you lost belief. It's because you lost motivation. It's because your needs were not strong enough. They will just use anything they can to blame you and not the system.
Oh, this is true. So I don't really have anything to fear. It's like when something comes up, I'm going to ask questions. I'm going to get coached. I'm going to learn something new and I'm going to grow to the next level. It's when we feel like, I don't know if I can actually do this, that quitting ourselves or not really pushing ourselves, or rather doing laundry instead of doing Plexus, or watching TV instead of doing, that's when those decisions get harder and harder. The motivation sticks around when it's like, yeah, this is a non-negotiable for me. Like, I'm going emerald in a year. I'm going double diamond in this year. Whatever those goals are, it's like, if that's your belief, you're going to show up in such a different way. You're not going to have to ask yourself, well, what do I say to sip and see? What do I do? You're just going to do it because you know, well, no time like the present, right? It's like John Maxwell says, jump and grow your wings on the way down. That's how you grow. That's how you learn. You cannot just sit and read books, right? You have to get out there and actually put yourself in the field and actually try things and actually see what it feels like to speak from a stage, to share the business with somebody. Everybody has first times in doing those things, right? Scared first times.
Yeah. Diamonds and jewels in this business are no different than anybody else. They've just done more reps.
Yeah, they've maybe had more of a warm market. They may have jumped from one MLM to this MLM and brought other people along with them. They may be better at selling. They may have the aesthetic. I talk about certain aesthetics all the time, and it's, she's a good example. Blonde, pretty, extroverted, perfect looking life. Perfect Instagram aesthetic with their beautiful blonde children. It's that sort of thing, and usually the kind of people who are very high up in MLMs that have sort of an edge to them, have just something, for some reason people gravitate towards those kind of people more and are willing to trust them in MLMs. I don't know why, but they do seem to be more successful in MLMs than other people.
That's it. The work doesn't change. It's recruiting, it's sharing, it's selling product.
Oh, thank you for at least throwing the selling product in as like you did put it behind sharing, but in case he doesn't know, sharing does not get people money. Recruiting people does, and selling a product does. Sharing does not get people money, but I appreciate him for throwing in selling in there as just right, we have to do that.
It's the same things over and over again. It's teaching, it's training. Everyone here is doing the same work that a diamond does. It doesn't change. It's just a diamond's done more reps. They've, instead of taking that rejection and stopping, they take that rejection and keep moving forward. It's a motivator, the old chip on the shoulder motivation, because if you convince yourself and you believe that you've already won the game, like how many of you have seen a movie and you know the ending? Nothing shakes your tree in that movie. Now how grim it looks for our characters. You know how it's going to end. It's going to end happy. You know the ending, so the middle doesn't quite matter as much. But you still got to go through the middle to get to the end.
Yeah, and when the story of joining an MLM is proven to have the same outcome across all MLMs, that 99% of people don't make money. It's very rare for the outcome of success to be the ending story. Maybe you should focus on the story of multiple people who lost a lot, or even people who have seen success, who have been higher up in their MLM, and just all the drama and all of the stress that comes along with that. There is always something hidden behind all the perfection of these people who they idolize. Like, they may not be as perfect and as rich as they appear. Like I said, if the husband is a ranch owner, he came from money. He probably has money. They had money before she joined the MLM, but they're going to make it appear like it's the MLM that made them successful. You just never know. When it's such a social media focused business, you never know what is the truth and what is over the top and what is exaggerated to get people interested.
Yeah, that least expected part is very true. I remember when Megan signed up under the wrong, or Cheryl, yeah, Megan signed up under the wrong Cheryl altogether for months, and we didn't even know. Very unexpected, right? So belief is the most important thing. It really, really is. So take the time, go through your fear stories, apply the things that you're learning from these. But remember, our heart, our mission, our vision for these calls is to literally elevate you, to do what you want to do, to be successful in your life, to be a better parent, a better spouse, a better friend, a better person, a better you. Your best you that you can be is to elevate all those parts of us. So we love you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to hop on here tonight. Pour that time into you, invest this time into you. It is so special. It really is. It's special that you guys are doing this for yourself. So I appreciate you. We love you, and we'll see you next week.
Bye, Plexus people. I don't know what else to say because I don't know if he's in Plexus, but he might be. He also might be the husband. I don't know. So the title of this video says what to say when someone asks what's Plexus. I don't think they answered that question. I don't think they got to that at all. They just had this whole motivation mindset talk, which is just, to me, all of it is how to keep people who have already signed up. What's the best way to keep them in? And then they just need to focus on getting more people and then convincing them that it's all just mindset. It's all just mindset. It can't be just all mindset, because I just know that people go into this wanting this to work, having a positive mindset, going in the first of the month, having all the desire and drive and being like, this is the month I'm going to hit the next rank, talking to so many people, not caring about the rejection and still not getting there. So it's not just about changing your mindset and having this happy, peppy, as long as I think about the positive outcome, I'll one day get there in 2, 3, 4, 5 years. People don't have 5 years to hopefully make an extra $600. Or, well, we'll say more because that's the average. Which, to be fair, that could be third, fourth rank, of the company where you're making an average of $600, $800 a year. People don't have 5 years to get to that point. People don't have even a year to get to that point. They want what these people say in opportunity calls is you're just sharing a product that you love. You're just talking to people about a product that you love. It's already an established company. Everything is already done for you. The customer service is done for you. The products are amazing. They speak for themselves. Everybody will love them if you give it to them. When in reality, they are in the business of recruiting people, making a bunch of money off of those people, and that's it. Just keep getting more and more and more people involved. Like what she said at the end there, that Megan signed up under the wrong Cheryl. Why does it matter which Cheryl she decided to join under, as long as she's a part of the business and experiencing this amazing opportunity and you've welcomed her into your community? That should be all that matters. But no, she was under the wrong Cheryl. That means she was not able to make money off of her. That's where the problem was, because it's all about joining within each individual's own little triangle. It's not just about even just signing up for Plexus. It's about the fact that they need to make money off of these people. If they're not making money off of these people, they don't really care if they join the business or not. It's like they didn't even join if they're not making money off of them. Alright, you guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. And if you really, really liked it, please subscribe. Let's talk anything and everything Plexus in the comments below. And until my next video, I will see you guys then. Bye!